Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Just so you guys know, I have a unique opportunity to spend some quality time with family being down here that I otherwise would not have. So that's exactly what happened on Thursday and Friday. And today I figured I'd aim for a slightly earlier upload since Elon did just say that he'll be hosting a digital town hall on X tonight at 8:30 Eastern Time. You may have seen some headlines about the Cybertruck indicating that demand is faltering, but when you actually trace the source of those articles, you'll see they're largely stemming from a few posts like this. On October 28th, Gabe Thompson said ordered a non-foundation truck on October 18th, and it's getting delivered on October 29th. Thus, from order to delivery for a non-foundation truck, it was 11 days. There are a few other posts like this that I've seen, but we have to be careful taking a few anecdotes and then extrapolating that to Tesla's overall Cybertruck demand. But as I've said before, given Tesla just opened up the orders for the $80,000 Cybertruck, ideally you would see wait times longer than the current of November to December this year. But with that said, we have to keep in mind the Cybertruck still is not officially eligible for the consumer tax credit. Yes, the one for businesses on the commercial side is available, but the Cybertruck is still nowhere to be found on the fueleconomy.gov website for Tesla. Thus, some buyers are still likely waiting for that confirmation, and we have to keep in mind Ford is now pausing its F-150 Lightning production until 2025. This pause for Ford will be nearly 2 months from November 15th to January 6th. In fairness, the plant was already scheduled for a week of downtime starting on December 23rd, but Ford said we continue to adjust production for an optimal mix of sales growth and profitability. It also said it's doing this to better align production with consumer demand. I definitely think it's too early to panic on Cybertruck sales, but we'll definitely be watching the numbers for Q4 and Q1. It may not be the official Tesla App Store that many people are awaiting, but we're heading that direction as Tesla just launched third-party business-to-business tokens. Sloan Sinelli, who works in fleet and business at Tesla, said third-party applications can now interact with cars they've been granted access to by Tesla for Business admin. Tesla Fleet API is live in all regions and supports all types of Tesla devices. If you're not familiar with APIs or application program interfaces, just think of these tokens like special passes or keys that Tesla is giving out to other businesses. These tokens or keys will allow those businesses to use Tesla's API in a more official and secure way. But if you look at the official page from Tesla, you can see this isn't just for businesses and developers, but it's for hobbyists as well. What it means is that more third parties will have secure access to Tesla's data through this API and the tokens, and as a result, more people will be able to build software and apps that can enhance the Tesla experience for all owners that choose to use some of these third-party apps. On that front, here's an example of a Reddit user doing exactly that, perhaps a preview of the future.
Can you navigate me to Heavenly Resort and make sure that I arrive with 40% battery levels at my destination? And can you also make sure that at one of my charging stops, there's a restaurant I need to stop for lunch?
You're all set for a trip to Heavenly Resort. The journey will take about 3 hours and 21 minutes, with 3 charging stops along the way. Enjoy a tasty lunch at one of these restaurants near your charging stops. Would you like me to send this route to your vehicle?
Yes, please. That'd be awesome.
I see you are going to 301 High Street. Do you want me to find you chargers or coffee on your way there, or at the destination?
Yes, can you find me a coffee shop at my destination?
I found a few coffee shops at your destination.
Yeah, could you show me the menu for Coupa Cafe?
Here's a taste of what's brewing at Coupa Cafe.
Can you get me a medium latte?
Your medium latte has been ordered and paid for. You can head over to Coupa Cafe, Lytton, to pick it up.
Ideally, over time, Tesla will of course improve the voice commands natively, but until then, people are working on solutions. Another example, over the weekend, the developer of the Tessie app has announced he now has a way to track autopilot and FSD usage. He said, just finished rolling this out to all iOS and Android devices. So these Tesla business tokens should continue to enhance the overall Tesla user experience. Today, the official Megapack account posted on X, congrats to the Megafactory team in Lathrop on building the 10,000th Megapack. For some context, the groundbreaking ceremony for Lathrop took place in September 2021. Then from groundbreaking to the beginning of production, it was roughly 1 year. Thus, Tesla began production of the Megapack around September of 2022, and about 2 years later, they hit the 10,000 units produced. It just so happens that 10,000 units of the Megapack from Lathrop is the annual capacity. Doing some back of the napkin math, 10,000 Megapacks times roughly $1.5 million per Megapack would be $15 billion in revenue from Lathrop in just about 2 years after starting production. Then if you just put a 20% gross profit on that, that gives you $3 billion of profit in that 2-year period. And we don't have the official cost for Tesla's Lathrop factory, but it's likely that the profit they've generated in the past 2 years already exceeds that figure, whatever it actually is. And we're likely to see an even faster production ramp from the Megapack factory in Shanghai. Some of you may remember this video of Kim Ye-ji from the Olympics, to which Elon said she should be cast in an action movie, no action required. Well, who would have thought we'd fast forward just a few months and now she has become Tesla's first ambassador in South Korea. But as we know, this is really Tesla's first brand ambassador anywhere around the world that we know of. Ye-ji's agent said the relationship between Kim and Tesla developed after Elon mentioned her. She said, "I'm very excited to work with Tesla, who have recognized me. I hope to convey a positive message together with Tesla." This really is quite a shift for Tesla from a marketing perspective. It may be totally unrelated, but don't forget we talked about some of those EV fires in South Korea that have caused a lot of panic around EVs in general in the region. After that apartment complex fire we talked about a few months ago, a survey found 6 of 10 EV owners now say their biggest concern is how to compensate victims if a fire starts in their cars. We also talked about the new certification scheme for EV battery packs in South Korea, where now automakers must disclose where the battery packs are coming from. So this is just my speculation, but perhaps Tesla now agreeing to work with Kim Ye-ji may be in an attempt to reverse some of that negative sentiment around EVs as of late in South Korea. There were actually 2 pretty serious Cybertruck crashes in Mexico over the weekend. The one that was worse was in Guadalajara and the other one in Mexico City. But looking at these images from the accident in Guadalajara, I think it's an absolute miracle that the 4 people that were in this vehicle at the time of the crash all survived. So far, I have not been able to find any details about what actually caused a crash of this magnitude. But yeah, 4 people surviving this crash takes Tesla's safety to a whole nother level that I wasn't even sure was possible. We have another company from Australia getting in on the battery storage game. This time they're planning 2 separate projects, each which will be 400 megawatt hour systems. The company has already chosen its preferred technology, Tesla's lithium iron phosphate Megapacks. It anticipates construction on both to start mid to late 2025. Across both projects, that's about 200 Megapacks from Tesla, or roughly $200 million in revenue. The community where Ashley and I are staying right now has many residents between the ages of 50 and 70, and I can tell you right now they've been asking about the Tesla. The most common question is, how do you charge it? It's honestly been a very loud reminder that despite posts like this from the Tesla account on X, that most of our audience would just gloss over about the supercharging network and the reliability and the ubiquity of it. Despite this info being second nature for us, for a group of the population that undoubtedly has money to spend and may consider a Tesla still has no idea about the charging network. I know not everyone has software update 2024.38 yet, but with .44 we get some new improvements coming. This is not the holiday update just yet, but we get some more supercharging improvements in cold weather. You can now see if a supercharger has trailer compatible spaces, and if your vehicle is in tow mode, trailer friendly supercharger locations will appear at the top of the list. There's also a new blind spot warning when you're parked. So if you try to open a door while an approaching object is detected in your blind spot, like a cyclist or another vehicle, the blind spot warning will flash, an audio warning will sound, and the door will not open on the first press of the button. But that safety feature will be optional. There are some other smaller updates, but one of note is improved range estimation accuracy. 24/7 Tesla on YouTube gave us an update on the Tesla Diner, and one of the screens has officially gone up.
At long last, the first screen LED video panel is in. I haven't seen the LEDs firing yet, Word is the installers are working to complete the video downlink before testing. This is one of the two 45-foot LED screens in the parking lot of the diner. The screens will show 30-minute movie clips, scheduled to play in 30-minute intervals. Screens will be operational from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., while the diner and charging stations will be open 24/7. The top-level seating will include 77 seats where people can sit and watch the movies as they eat, or they'll be able to view and hear the movies from in-car charging. Now that I'm able to see the door in full light, it's a standard split double door with two half-circle metal handles on each side.
Honestly, I'm still wondering how Tesla compensated the owners and tenants of this building. As Marco RP highlighted in some filings, Tesla is planning a new 168 stall supercharger location, this one in Coalinga, California. The site will have restrooms as well as a large solar array and battery storage. Joe Tetmeyer shared the Boring Company continues to prep the Giga Texas tunnel with the completion of the road surface panels, the interior with white stain and paint. Hopefully this will be operational by the end of the year. We got the Tesla China wholesale number for October. It came in at 68,280. Comparing that to October last year, that number was 72,115, so we're down just over 5% this year. But more importantly, looking at the wholesale figure year to date, January through October, Giga Shanghai is down 3.6% this year, or down about 27,000 units. We don't yet have the domestic and export breakdown, so just looking at year to date, January through September, domestically, Giga Shanghai is up 5.7%, but from an export standpoint, they're down 18.7%. And overall production from Shanghai is down 3.5% January through September. And don't forget the new export tariffs that just went into effect as of November 2nd officially. So we'll see if that has an impact in quarter 4 and beyond, but just keep in mind for quarter 3, Giga Shanghai did actually account for over 50% of Tesla's global deliveries. In quarter 3 globally, Tesla delivered just under 463,000 and 249.1 thousand were from Shanghai. Finally, Tesla in the Philippines will be officially introduced on November 8th. This event will take place at the Uptown Mall in Taguig, and after the media introduction on the 8th, the showroom will be open to the public on November 9th. Still though, somehow there's been no final word about what cars will be available at launch. NHTSA put out its filing for the part sourcing for automobiles for 2025. But I think the North American label is misleading as this only considers parts from the US and Canada. It excludes Mexico. Tesla actually ties for first place for American-made parts with Honda. The Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive are in first place alongside the Honda Ridgeline all-wheel drive. Both have 75% of their parts created in North America. Surprisingly, the Honda Ridgeline is actually the most American-made truck with 75%, but the Cybertruck is in second place at 65%. Some other EV trucks of note, the Sierra EV is 36%, and the F-150 Lightning is down at 29%. Tesla ties for second place at 70% with the Model 3 Performance and the Model Ys. And then you have the Model S and Model X at 65% and 60% respectively. The Cybertruck takeover in Canada is officially underway. Deliveries have begun, and Drive Tesla Canada said there are already over 400 Cybertrucks in Ontario alone, with another 600 on their way in the next few weeks. In case you missed it, Judge Kathleen McCormick did say, "I write to inform you I aim to issue that decision before the end of this year." That decision being two that she has to make when it comes to Elon's compensation plan. One decision she has to make is around the legal fee that Tesla may have to pay the lawyers for the other side. But don't forget, she also has to decide if the Tesla shareholder vote was valid to overturn her previous ruling, which would ultimately mean that Elon's pay package is finally restored. Less than 2 months and we may have some clarity. Now, if this goes south for Tesla and Elon, then Tesla would have the opportunity to appeal this to the Supreme Court. I'm sure most of you have already seen the bigger news from last week about Tesla's AI AI rollout. Just in case those of you that don't have X didn't see it yet, they did say the full rollout of the end-to-end highway driving to all AI4 users is targeted for early this week. Another one to highlight, actually Smart Summon, releasing to Europe, China, and other regions of the world. And then as part of Tesla's V13 FSD package, they'll have new audio inputs for better handling of emergency vehicles. Not only that, but integrated unpark, reverse, and park capabilities, and support for destination options including pulling over, parking in a spot, driveway, or garage. Tesla was targeting to ship FSD version 13 to internal customers by the end of last week, but more importantly, they're targeting a wide release of FSD version 13.3 with most of the improvements in this post for AI4 vehicles around Thanksgiving. Remember, for AI3 owners, Tesla has told us that they're going to start these software releases with AI4 and then end up working to backport those to AI3. Thus, for most AI3 owners, it's likely that you won't see FSD version 13 until sometime in December at the earliest. I don't need to explain why this is such a big deal, but Ashok did say lots of work, but the team's aiming to get to feature complete for unsupervised FSD with the version 13 series. Of course, there are no guarantees Tesla can actually pull this off, but to know that Tesla is aiming for this internally to make version 13 the one, the expectations for version 13 are going to be through the roof. Clearly, over the next 6 to 9 months, the FSD releases are going to be incredibly exciting. Tesla stock closed the day at $242.84, down 2.47%, while the Nasdaq was down 0.33%. It was a lower volume day for Tesla, trading about 11 million shares below the average volume the past 30 days. We'll see about a video tomorrow on Tuesday for US election day. I know it's really the only thing most people can focus on right now. I do understand that. It may also be a light news day for Tesla because of that, so we'll play it by ear. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please like the video if you did. You can find me on X linked below, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.